around 63.50.
Well, you're absolutely right. The Indian rupee has actually been trading relatively well in the last couple of weeks. And I think there's been some relief, at least on the external side of things, when people are looking at the currency, that maybe some of the inflation concerns that we were thinking about in the early part of June seem to be dissipating to an extent. So there's some sort of optimism, at least there, for the currency right now. And obviously the high-yielding nature of it is still something that's very attractive to many people.
Paul, you had mentioned all the way back in October 2014 that the rupee should or would be the preferred currency of 2015. Would that still stand?
From an Asian currency perspective, yes. I think it's still a very sound currency to consider for many. And I think that's also consistent with, if you look at its price performance since the beginning of this year, it is indeed one of the best performing currencies within Asia. So for the rest of this year, even though we're still looking for some mild currency weakness versus the U.S. dollar, we still have the forecast of 66 by the end of this year. We still see it outperforming many other currencies.
Okay. We've seen the dollar index at 7-week highs and consequently the euro at 6 or 7-week lows. What's your sense in terms of where both of these could move, at least in the near term and maybe even by the year end?
Sure. Well, the near-term story or near-term focus is going to be very much on how the U.S. data pans out through the rest of today. We've got housing starts, we've got CPI, we've got Michigan confidence numbers. There's a lot of data coming out of the U.S. and the market is so hungry for stronger data. They still want to buy in this dollar bull rally that it can actually continue. So if it does surprise on the upside, this data, then I do think it would underpin the dollar to actually trade stronger across the board. So not just the euro. Our bias for euro dollar, though, and from a longer term perspective, is still down to 1.05 by the end of this year.
Okay. All right, Paul, we leave it on that note. Thank you very much for joining in and giving us a quick take on the currency. Well, the rupee is expected to possibly continue its resilience going forward. But the government is not giving up on the land bill.